it's one of those things where, all right, ATF's playing gotcha with these things. Micro conversion kits, interesting tool, doesn't make you more, and there's reasons why you have this stuff. Maybe you get on target faster, maybe it makes you more lethal, more effective, especially if you find yourself in one of these self-defense scenarios. But
maybe you just like it because it's cool.
Yeah,
the Second Amendment covers things you think are cool.
We are the Armed Attorneys. Today we're talking micro conversion kits. I don't know if some got published on the internet. I couldn't find it, but we have seen a tremendous uptick in questions about them, what they are they legal? Is there any kind of scenario where they're not legal? Yes, we're going to be talking about all of that. But before we begin, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting that like button. And I don't know what started this. Usually there's a forum posting somewhere, and then things start getting circulating.
Yeah, someone says something on the Reddits and then it pops off.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't talked about it before, surprisingly. But I think to start things, what's a micro conversion kit?
Well, we wanted to show you guys a video of micro conversion kits and how they work, and we decided not to because YouTube has rules. YouTube has lots of rules when it comes to firearms, and I know people get mad at us for like trying to play within YouTube's rules, but that's how YouTube shows our stuff to people.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's annoying to follow their rules, but if we don't follow their rules, number one, our videos don't get shown. Number two, we might get strikes and actually get removed from the platform, which doesn't help us at all. So we will not be showing you a video because it might be assembling a firearm.
Yeah,
which
so
is against the rules.
A little bit of a gray area. We don't want to mess with it. But for the uninitiated, these are aftermarket kits. They almost look like a completed firearm. The chief difference is you take a semi-automatic handgun. It fits into the kit itself. It looks very similar. I mean, it looks like kind of like what you would expect a submachine gun to look like. Obviously, these things aren't automatic, but a very, very small pistol caliber firearm. And, they're pretty interesting. But I think we've gotten a lot of questions about it because do these things transform the firearm into a short barrel rifle? Is really what it comes down to.
So we can flash a picture up, right?
Yeah.
So you can see anytime, and we should all know this, but it bears repeating, anytime something is born into the world as a pistol, it can be converted into a rifle, but not a short barrel rifle. When things are born into the world as a rifle, it can never become a pistol. It can never become short barreled unless you get your tax stamp, you complete your Form 1, and you jump through the NFA hoops. So we are talking about something born into the world as a pistol, step one, right? So generally speaking, if you had an AR pistol and you wanted to convert it into a full-length standard size rifle, you could do that.
Yeah, no problem.
You don't have to worry about any. Your state's law will vary, but just in Texas, go do it.
Yeah.
However, we have to worry when that barrel length is less than 16 inches. And if we flashed up a picture here, you can see that the barrel length is going to be less than 16 inches. So we have to worry, has this created an SBR?
Yeah, and the place we go to look to find an answer is our definition of what constitutes a short barrel rifle. And we find that in 18 USC 921A8. And it says that the term short barrel rifle means a rifle having one or more barrels less than 16 inches in length, and any weapon made from a rifle, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise, if such weapon, as modified, has an overall length of less than 26 inches.
Right. So then we have to think about, all right, well, that's a short barrel rifle. What is a rifle?
Yeah.
And why does that matter?
And the key definition that comes into play here is designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder.
From the shoulder. So I think this micro conversion kit, people are going to get so mad at us. They'll be like, yes or no, yes or no. But there's a lot of background. All right. So calm down.
Yeah, you got to see the napkin math.
So there's a lot of worryings about this because we had our SBR rule recently with regard to arm braces, right? What was a legal braced pistol temporarily became a short barrel rifle. That brace was considered a stock. It was considered a rifle. We had a whole tax stamp scheme in place, briefly, no longer in place. And so a lot of people said, well, oh my gosh, that means micro conversion kits are totally legal. And the answer to that is maybe, but it depends. We're going to follow the exact same rules that we're following for braced pistols, right?
Yeah, and why do we look at the brace pistol rule? Because you might say, hey, my kit doesn't have a brace on it. why would this even come up? It's because the factoring criteria for pistols equipped with stabilizing arm brace, yes, the brace was one factor that the ATF was looking at, but they also looked at, hey, where's the position of the trigger? Is it towards the center of the gun? Well, that makes it look more like a rifle. Or is it, do you actually raise it to your eye line to fire?
What was the marketing of it?
Sure. And so, but we'll say all that stuff kind of went to the wayside.
Yes.
That rule has been enjoined, completely vacated. It's as if it didn't exist. And so we go and we look at the law and how these things were treated prior to that final rule going into effect.
Correct, which is the firearm designed or intended to be fired with one hand, which is a handgun, even though we normally use two hands, or designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder? So if your microconversion kit is a stock, you have made an SBR. It is illegal unless you get your Form 1.
Yes, so we look at, all right, placed our handgun inside of this kit. No stock. All right, well, then you probably aren't going to have any problems, at least on the federal level. Not a crime under federal law, not designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder. Where we do see folks getting in trouble, and to answer that question, hey, is there a situation where these things are illegal? Yes, and this is where you have to be careful, is if there's a stock or, if somebody has a brace on it, if they have modified the brace in such a way that transforms it into a stock. Because I'll say, I've seen quite a few firearms floating around out there, and I've talked to several folks who, they have a legitimate, stabilizing brace. All right, everybody says this thing is a brace. Then they go and do things to it like add tape to it or modify it in such a way to where, hey, now it's arguable that this thing is a stock.
Right. If it's a brace, if it's got the Velcro, if you can use it as a brace, then it is not an SBR, and you should not be shouldering it unless that shouldering is incidental or accidental. However, it is so easy. Richard said the modification. Looking back at all these ATF opinions now about stabilizing braces, which stop asking the ATF for their opinion. Stop it. Why do you care? I mean, you guys aren't doing it. It's, but still, it's manufacturers. Sure. But it's like, stop. But people, you can do something as simple as remove the Velcro. And if you remove, this is how much sense federal law makes, right? But if you remove the Velcro, you have turned an item that was perfectly legal into hot lava.
You're gonna set the internet on fire with that.
It's true though.
Well, I've seen ATF agents get mad over it.
Over what?
Removing the Velcro.
Yeah, no, I know it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think a lot of people don't know that.
Well, buckle up. But no, if you make a modification that changes its intent from an arm brace to something that you shoulder, and if you take the Velcro off, how are you going to brace it on your arm?
Sure. And so, I mean, that's the argument that we see agents making in the field when they're inspecting these items.
I'm not saying I like this.
No.
I'm telling you what's happening.
No. I just think it's one of those kind of little silly facts that I think people kind of jump over, or maybe they weren't aware of.
You're making me all nervous.
No. You didn't say. But, it's one of those things where, all right, ATF's playing gotcha with these things. Micro conversion kits, interesting tool. Does it make you more, and there's reasons why you have this stuff. Maybe you get on target faster. Maybe it makes you more lethal, more effective, especially if you find yourself in one of these self-defense scenarios. But
maybe you just like it because it's cool.
Yeah,
the Second Amendment covers things you think are cool.
And here's a question I have that I don't actually know the answer to. Let's say you wanted to. All right, you got your handgun serialized, purchased from an FFL. You have your micro conversion kit. It has a stock on it. The gun's not in it. This combination of parts. Do we have an issue with that? Actually, I do know I know the answer, but I want to hear it.
Yeah, no, not till you drop it in.
Yeah, so that's what makes this different than machine guns. So machine guns, if you had a part that's designed to be exclusively used in machine guns or to transform the firearm into a machine gun, that part by itself is a machine gun, prohibited unless you jump through some hoops. Can't make new machine guns. Don't have a time machine. All right, we have all those things. For short-barreled rifles, we're looking at the unlawful possession of a short-barreled rifle. And so if it's not a short-barreled rifle, it's not a short-barreled rifle.
No, put it next to your gun collection, put your air plants in it, use it as a plant, I don't care.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's not yet a SBR.
All right, I'm empathing the next question of, what about constructive intent?
Prove it. Prove it. I mean, just no. That does not worry me one iota.
All right, one other question that I think comes up. All right, you have your kit, you have your stock on it, you want to do this the right way. You want to get a tax stamp. The lower, the handgun itself, that's going to be the firearm. How do you Form 1 this thing? Where does the new serial number go? I've heard a couple of different answers, and I don't know the legitimate answer.
Where does the new serial number go? Because
You got
the
this.
receiver's still the receiver.
Yep.
I mean, you haven't changed that out, but it's not an SBR when it's not in the kit. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, this is one of those. Hey, there is probably an answer, but
There's probably an answer.
The
Comment
better-
if you know the answer.
yeah, if you know the answer, I'd like to hear. We learn stuff from y'all all the time. But we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And please do leave us questions and comments below. Until next time, we're the Arms Chinese.